Chris, can we start with the international break? Has it given you and the players a bit of an opportunity to reset for the players physically and mentally? And can you tell us about your trip to Saudi to meet the owner? How did that meeting go?
Yeah, physically, obviously, a bit of work into players that have been injured and hopefully getting a couple more back into the group. Mentally, I think it was really important, of course, because of the intensity of the Premier League and what it does to you mentally, especially in the position that we're in. So hopefully refreshed. I've got to say, during the couple of weeks, the boys have worked extremely hard. I've obviously kept an eye on it while I was away, but over the past week they look nice and bright and sharp, and today was the first day back for the boys that have been on international duty as well. So yeah, they're in good spirits, and hopefully we can take that into the weekend. And off the back of my visit, yeah, very positive in terms of meeting Prince Abdullah and having face-to-face talks about what's happening now, medium and long term, and the future of the football club that we all think an awful lot about.
Can I ask you about George Baldock's fitness? Will he be fit for the weekend? How's he?
Yeah, well, he come off with a calf injury, so yeah. Listen, we've not talked about the boys that have been out injured. The majority of them coming back for Saturday. We might have a couple back, and hopefully through the next 10 games, more and more will come back and be of help to our plight to stay in the division, plight and flight. From George's point of view, he came off, we assessed him, so it's going to be touch and go. There's no getting away from that. It's going to be touch and go for him to be involved at the weekend. Hopefully he will be, but if not, I don't think it's as bad as first feared. So hopefully that will be kept down to a minimum.
Well, yeah, injuries then. I think just before the international break, we were speaking about the Nearlys, and Archer was one of the ones that it was at the most advanced stage. Are you going to get him?
Yeah, he is a Nearly. Anis Slimani's a Nearly as well. Those were the main two that we thought that we would be back available for us. So we'll wait and see. I'm not going to give anything away because, as I talked about before, nobody gives anything to us cheaply and easily. So, but they're not going to be a million miles off, and hopefully they'll be back involved. The international boys, apart from George, we've had no issues with. So delighted. Arblaster, the younger ones, Arblaster, Sula, Anel coming back as well. Ben Bertrand Diaz got called up late and played some minutes. So that was good for him as well, to get some minutes under his belt. So and some work, as we talked about, for the likes of McBurney and the others, because as I've talked at length regarding it, and really something that really, if I was sitting here and I'll put in order what I'd like to speak about, I wouldn't want to talk about injuries first and foremost in every press conference as the major topic, but it has been because of the situation that we're in and the poor medical history that we've got at the football club, and talked about as well, after the Bournemouth game at length, that we're having to make physical, manager and coaches having to make physical substitutions because of the condition that the players are in. So yeah, hopefully, through this little period, rest, a few coming back, a bit of work. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag in terms of all the moving parts to that.
So in many ways, really, this international break has been crucial, really, hasn't it, for all of those issues tied into one? Yeah,
it is. Yeah, and hopefully it'll prove beneficial. In the long run. We've come off the back of a decent performance result, so hopefully the spirit is there, and the desire has to be there, because obviously the prize at stake is still in front of us, and is still something that we still believe we can achieve.
Throughout this international break, how has home form and goals at home been addressed?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you've got to address it, and you have to look at that from a coaching staff and a manager's point of view, what we need to address going into these last 10 games. And if we continue in the way that we have done over the last sort of 4 or 5 games at home, then we're going to have no chance. That's as simple as that. So yeah, being defensively tight, shape about the team, not giving anything away cheaply, making good decisions, having a desire to keep the ball out of the back of the net. From a mentality point of view, if we go behind, do we go 2, 3 and 4 like we have done at home? So it's something that's really disappointing, of course, and we're not used to that here at Bramall Lane, because it has been an incredible place to pick up some really positive results, and we're going to have positive results going into the last 10 games if we give ourselves any sort of opportunity of getting the results that we want. So from a tactical point of view, how do we go about it? From a physical mentality point of view, how do we go about it as well? And all those things have been discussed over the last 2 weeks, because of course your away form is huge, but there's where your bulk of your points get picked up, and there's where the majority of your supporters watch you and support you, want to get behind you, and we've certainly got to give them something to shout about, because certainly we haven't, and we've let them down more than we let ourselves down over the last 3 or 4 games at home. Still, considering the quality of the opposition that we have played against and what they can do to you, we still have to add that into the equation. But first and foremost, looking at our home form and the manner of the performances, especially in the first half, and the manner of the goals, it's something that we need to get a grip off, certainly from the next game onwards.
So how much does Fulham at home this weekend provide that opportunity, which is a slightly odd way of saying, how do you assess Fulham right now?
Well, it's a good side. You've seen the results, you've seen the performances, so it's not like any other league where you're expected to just home win on the old coupons. There it is, because that's not the way the Premier League is, and that's not the way it is when you're playing in the division, and the quality that they possess in their ranks, and the results and the form that they've been in. So, but what I will say, hopefully it's a reset going into the last 10 games of the season. It's a fresh start for us, and we can get off to a decent start in these last 10 games, starting at home on Saturday afternoon.
Sadly, a contest against Fulham provides an opportunity to ask about Basham and how he is. How is he right now, Bash?
Yeah, he's okay. He's in good spirits, as he always is. It takes a lot to get him down. So while he's around the place, he's been bright and bubbly. That's a long road in terms of his recovery and his rehabilitation towards getting back to doing normal day-to-day things with his family. And I think that's the first obstacle that he needs to overcome. So there's not been a lot talked about Andy in terms of getting him back on the training ground, getting him back involved in training sessions, and resuming his career as an excellent footballer. So first and foremost, I think that I imagine a lot was talked about it as well, and the help that we received from Fulham on the day down there. So I suppose if Bash is about, he'll have a sort of a feeling regarding the fiction. I suppose he'll always will do. But from our point of view, to see Bash around the place is really good. John Egan has started out on the grass today. I should imagine, if you look at our website, there's some pictures of him doing early rehabilitation. So I can't. And we can't get too excited at the moment about John coming back before the end of the season, because I don't think he will do. But him getting back, and obviously Chris getting himself back in and around the place. I think in a way it's really positive that they are. But I think it does really show what a big blow it was to lose those type of players, in terms of the character, the personality, and the ability, and what a big blow it was to our season when they basically were ruled out in pretty much similar periods. I think, was it a week or two between both of the games? So you lose 2 players like that for the season. It's a huge blow. I hear all around me about how other teams are having injuries, and these big super clubs are having these big injury crises, and you look, and I think basically we'll have between 8 and 10 out for the weekend, which hurts us. I've got to say 100% more than it hurts anybody else.
Can I just ask a couple of questions on the meetings and all of that.
Yeah.
Going away. Firstly, I suppose, did you get the reassurances that you wanted, that the plans that you have and are developing can be put in place?
I think, listen, we can break it down. We can reflect on what has been a difficult season for everybody, owner too as well. Those conversations took place on review and reflection, but the majority of it, 75% of it was what we're going to do to make this better going forward, short, medium and long term. Can we get enough results between now and the end of the season to still claim our place in the Premier League? We have been written off, I understand that, I totally get that, performances and results and where we're at. I think there's still things hanging about as well, that nobody knows what can happen in the Premier League because of what's already happened in the Premier League. So, there's certain and an obligation from me, just going off track a little bit there, that we have to go to the end, because we've got an obligation to everything, for the league, for our supporters, to ourselves, and there's so much to play for. Whether you're out of contract, whether you're a player that's signed for the football club, whether you want to be a part of the next journey that I believe there will be. And then, so from that point of view, the short-term point of view, and then the medium and long-term things that are happening at the football club, the training ground, the hotel getting back up and running, the new training ground coming together, the progression of the academy, the pathway of the academy, the plans for the medium and the long term, which is obviously medium is going into next season. Talking about individual players and talking about how we're going to go about it, the structure of that, talking about how we overcome the issues that we've had from a medical point of view, the redevelopment and reconstruction of the recruitment department, because obviously Paul has left now, so how do we go about that, and how do we structure that fits in line with being Sheffield United and what that looks like for us, not for anybody else. So yeah, really positive talks over there, and I've always been enthused in terms of what the future holds for us, even though it's painful at the moment. My body language has been positive. I'm positive in terms of what this club can achieve going forward. Keep saying it's raining at the moment, but the sun will shine and we'll get back to where we want to be. And we have to suffer a little bit, but first and foremost, let's go and attack that game on Saturday and sort of put to bed a few of the bits and pieces that are flying around, which we totally understand and deserve in terms of our own form and us getting back to winning ways.
Is there a sort of an update or a latest on the appointment of recruitment staff? Steve Bettis came in, he was talking about this sort of thing, and there's kind of a process underway. Are they going to be in so that they can start when they
they have to. I mean, I've got to say, I would say, regardless of what division that we're in, it most probably would be the most important window for the last 9 or 10 years. We've got to get it right. So we have to get it right in terms of a lot of ways, from terms of the ability of the players that we're bringing in, and most importantly for me, from the cultural point of view, the personality point of view, and the attitude point of view. And the identity of what this team needs to get back to looking like. So massive window for us. We all understand and know there's going to be a lot of players going back that have been out on loan to us. There's going to be There's going to be a lot of players that are out of contract as well, and potentially there might be a few sales as well in there. So it's a huge window we have to get right. We have to go through a process as well. We can't just go, well, we're going to pick him, or we've got to get best people for the job that fits in with what will work with me, what will work with the coaching staff, and what is right for the football club in terms of these people, the work ethic, who they're looking for, and the help that they'll give us, me, the staff, and the football club, to identify the right players for us going forward.
And just as a very final question from me then, after this meeting, because we always have this idea that it's about thrashing out sort of finite details and all this kind of thing, are you, with all of the kind of the question marks, have you made them now, if you like, in your head? I appreciate you're not going to broadcast them now.
No, I'm as clear as
I've
ever been regarding the future of the football club. I believe I 100% know what we need to do, who we need to bring in, what we need to do, who needs to go, who needs to stay, You know, there'll always be a little bit of question marks in there that, you know, regarding from the players' point of view. There's still a lot to play for, so players really should have the attitude, whether they're going to be here or not here, they've got everything to play for, as they always should, and have that pride and responsibility of being a professional footballer to produce their best during the week and the best every time they pull a shirt on. So there's a hell of a lot to play for, but for me personally, I'm as clear as I've ever been in terms of what is needed here, what we need to do. We have to be a little bit patient with it because I can't do it right at this particular moment, but we'll get it done, and I'm sure we'll be in a better place for it.
So, thank
Cheers,
you,
mate.
Hi, Chris.
Hey, Demo.
Just another one about the owner and the meeting you had with him. You're talking about the long term. Do you feel that after that meeting, Sheffield United are perhaps closer to becoming an established Premier League club?
Well, we need to do a lot of things right, and at the moment, you know, we're not an established Premier League club, so we need to fight for everything to do that. Ultimately, it's what happens with results, performances, and results on the pitch that determines that. So, at the moment, it's not looking as if we're going to be an established Premier League club, in the likes of a Palace who have been in the division for 10 and 11 years. At the moment, we're not, because we've had 2 years in. We've had 2 years out, and we've got a year back in, and by all intents and everybody's opinion, most probably be another year out of it as well. So, you know, we've got to fight like we've never fought before to give ourselves that chance to stay in a division, and then who knows what happens off the back of that. You know, anything can happen, as we all know. But as far as Prince Abdullah's concerned, we're planning. We're planning, and he's backed sort of the proposals and the ideas of what we need to do in the departments that I've already talked about, and he's given me that full backing, and I'm confident, and I thank him for that, and I'm confident I myself, the coaching staff, and everybody that's around us that can deliver, even if it might be in the medium and long term view. It's a difficult ask, we all understand, to get the results to stay in the division this year. I think it always was, even when I walked through the door. But obviously, the club doesn't die at the end of the season. It doesn't collapse at the end of the season if we have to suffer that pain of relegation. So we still have to plan medium and long term, because there's still in my opinion, an incredibly bright future for us going forward.